Hey, Peter.
Hey, man.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
I don't know, but, whenever you say stuff like this, I always think of you as such a young guy.
Yeah.
And then you bring up these references that are, like, way back deep into the 70s, man.
I'm Adam Maness.
And I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Daily jazz advice coming at you.
For those of you who don't know that reference, there was a really, primitive-looking cartoon. It was a commercial that was on
Almost like a drawing, right?
Yeah, and it was always on, in the Saturday morning cartoon rotation. And it was an owl, and some kid
Oh, that's right. It
went to him and was like,
Yeah.
Mr. Owl,
Yeah.
how many licks does it take? Why are we talking about licks today?
Well, because we have a speak pipe from one of our new premium members, specifically about, let's just take a listen to it, but obviously it's about licks.
Sure.
Hey, Peter and Adam. This is Sam from the Bay Area. I love your guys' podcast. Listen to it every day on my commute to the gym in the mornings. My question for you guys pertains to licks and how to use them effectively. I know that to build your jazz vocabulary for improvising, you have to listen and steal from the greats. But how do you get past the point of just copying and pasting a lick into your own solo? I want to be able to effectively transition from one idea to the next, but when I try to use bits and pieces from solos that I transcribe, it sounds very fragmented and not like one melodic idea. Anyway, any advice would be helpful, and keep up the hard work with the podcast. Thanks.
Thank you, Sam. You got a notification there, it seems like.
Yeah, notification. He's like, speak pipe finished. Thank you for acknowledging the hard work that we do here.
It's so hard.
We make it look easy, but it's hard. You know?
I don't even think we make it look that easy.
Yeah, we don't.
The effort
All
is
this
seen, all this
around
crap
here.
everywhere.
Man, we got a lot of, we got almonds, we got mystery beverage.
I mean, the pod cave is kind of falling apart. I don't know
We
if
got-
you noticed this, but some of the baffling,
I know.
sound baffling is
Well,
falling
and we're
apart.
a little bit because, wow, we totally lost the question here now.
No,
We'll be back to it.
I got it. But you know what? We keep bringing up to Andrew. He's like, I got an intern coming.
Right.
He's like, Andrew's already ready to shirk his responsibilities and put the responsibility of upkeep on the pod cave to some mysterious intern that I've never met.
I know. And well, dare I say, because of the runaway success of this endeavor, it's
Run away into the fact that people have been running away constantly.
yeah, running
for a year and a
away
half.
from the pie. No, because of the runaway success of this, I think I won't say it's gone to Andrew's head because it hasn't, but it's definitely pushed him into areas like I'm not touching that until the intern comes. He's as the producer of the award-winning. But anyway, yeah, thank you, Sam, for the question from the Bay Area. Big shout out to the Bay Area. Going there on Sunday to the Bay Area.
Oh, awesome. What are you
The
doing out
Bay
there?
Area is big, man.
You playing out there?
Playing in San Jose.
San Jose.
Yeah, San
Nice.
Jose
Yeah.
Jazz Festival. But the I think Sam gave away his age a little bit. Did you catch that? When he said copy and paste from the greats.
Yeah.
That's something we didn't say when we were young because
No.
there might have been a little copy. No, there was probably no copy and pasting when you started.
I don't think so.
But that's a great way to think about it. Very modern and very much like really what a lick is. Actually like the way, I've never liked the way lick sounds. Where did that come from?
I don't know. That's
Why
a
did
good
we come
question.
with- What is the etymology of that?
That's a great question. We
It is a
should.
great question. I'm full of great
Andrew, if
questions.
you're not too busy,
Stacking
and
pens.
you don't mind, see if you can figure that out.
Yeah.
You know what? It is it's a great question, Sam. Pardon me. But really, there's no getting past that. I think for a while, this is just how it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you got to just stick with it because eventually your own sound is going to come out. That's the hope. That's the goal, right?
Yeah, and I don't think, the listening and stealing from the greats, I got no problem with that.
Ah.
None at all, even in spite of the recent Katy Perry lawsuit and all that. We're going to talk about that Friday.
We're going to get into it on the live. You'll hear it.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about when the and give you some details of that in a minute. But look, this is such a part of jazz. This is what has propelled the music forward. So I think, we should remove and not even start with any kind of shame associated with listening and stealing from the greats. Like that's not stealing. That's I think of it as placing yourself within the lineage of the music. But I think that to me, the reason I don't like the term lick, it almost isolates almost parts of phrases too much and pulls them out of the organic flow of the solo. So it's like the more you can think about learning complete solos, or at least complete choruses, or at least complete phrases, as opposed to just dooby dooby dee doo dee, the better, and the less you'll just be regurgitating licks.
Yeah.
Because remember, what you learn, like the more I think that you can get into the mentality and the mindset of learning a solo and then not worrying about regurgitating anything that you've learned.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. But letting it come out organically, I think it'll come out sounding less like jive little licks that you're throwing in there.
Right. And if it's not coming out organically yet, I think that might be, a sign that you haven't gone deep enough on it. That maybe that you're just, like you said, regurgitating it, literally just playing it because that's what you know. Maybe you haven't taken the time to kind of understand why it works over whatever chord change it works, or taken it through all the keys and all the situations, or displaced it by a half a beat, or all the things that you would do to a piece of what I would like to call melodic content instead of a lick,
right?
Or melodic concepts. To really break it down conceptually, like what is the concept behind this phrase? Why does this work? What's going on? Because when you understand those concepts behind a phrase, like even a phrase like the lick, I understand that. It sounds so good, right? There's a couple of things going on that I can think of conceptually, right?
Are you going to analyze the lick?
I am, just briefly here. Check it out. So the first note that we start on here, oh, sorry. Like we go back to as we get up to the end of the...
Or is it...
That's the lick I know. But to me, this is like we either way, what it's really doing is kind of surrounding that G, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the target,
right?
And then we surround the F below it.
Are you validating the lick or are you invalidating the lick? I'm trying to figure this out.
Buddy, it can't be invalid if it's so popular.
I know. Well, the thing about this is like this is not even really a complete phrase, I don't think.
No.
And if you look at that original, I mean, you got some greats that were playing this, but it's always they just cut from part to part. So if you start thinking about it like that, you're kind of missing the point of the flow, right?
No, for sure. But what the point I'm trying to make is it's almost not about the lick at that point. It's about the concept behind why you're doing it, and then trying to understand why it works. Why do you like it? What is it about it that you can? Because I can do that,
but it's got to be something about what you played before. That's got to be, what validates you playing it at that time.
Absolutely.
Right?
But when we break it down to a granular level, I could take the same concepts, like something similar, and I know there's a similar shape, or even it's the same notes but a different rhythm or a different pattern. Like it's really about, I think, trying to understand the intent behind it, and that does include, to your point, what came before and what came after it as well. Right. So Sam, if you feel like you're plugging things in, it's probably because you just are, and you might need to take a deeper dive on the licks that you like. And there's nothing wrong with finding melodic concepts that you're into, but just know that it takes a bit of work to get them in there smoothly.
Yeah, and always let, from the smallest little riff all the way up to the longest phrase, let that come out. You got to be patient enough to let that come out of your playing organically. And maybe it never comes out exactly. So that's all the better, because that means that concept. If you learn something deeply, you're going to get something out of it. You have to have that faith in that. Yeah. You have to have that confidence to sit in that and be like, wow, I'm connected with this great John Coltrane solo. I'm connected with this Brad Mehldau solo, whatever it is that you learn. And like be confident that that's enough, that you don't have to regurgitate a little micro part of one of the licks or whatever. Yeah. And I mean, I think that, like there's this, and we'll put a link below here to the, about the casino lick?
Oh, yeah. Matt Villinger's brilliant YouTube video.
We're going to get him. So what? This is like, I somehow made an appearance on this with some other good piano.
That's Herbie.
Yeah. But this is like, it's more of like a technique or whatever, but it's always in line. Like, I never thought about this. I mean, it's brilliant to think about it as a casino thing.
It's very funny.
But, I mean, it's just something that you can get out of the piano. So, like, if you connect yourself with the music, you're going to have access to that. And then hopefully do it at the right time. And hopefully I did on here. Do it at the right time within the flow. What's happening before and after.
But it's almost not about the notes. It's not about the lick. It's about the concept behind it.
Right.
And that's what actually this video demonstrates that beautifully because they're all different.
Right.
But it's kind of the same vibe. It's the same concept. Usually, man, the Chick's version of that is so maniacal. He looks like he's going to murder someone.
Does he do it? Is that
yeah,
is he on here?
He's on there eventually. See if you can see it.
Let me see here.
And we'll share the YouTube video link. This was made by our buddy pianist from St. Louis, now in Kansas City, Matt Villinger.
Okay, here comes. Oh yeah, this is the.
He just looks insane.
Yeah, he's playing insane. That's a good close up of his hands. McCoy Tyner, you got some greats on here.
Yeah. But Sam,
it's all like you hear, like I think for almost everybody on here, it's like at a certain moment of the solo too.
Right.
So it's not about just like bam, you pull it out of your back pocket. You're doing it in line at the right time.
But Sam, to your problem, to your question,
Yeah.
Some actionable things you can do is just make sure you're going deep on all the stuff you're transcribing. Make sure that you're really trying to hear it first.
Oh, sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
you were just about to play the lick for 2 minutes.
Well, no, it went right into the next thing.
Stop it, man! Stop it.
Well, I wanted to hear if it was. Sorry. Anyway.
No, make sure that you go on a deep dive of all the stuff you're transcribing. Make sure that you first hear it and then can play it, which sounds like where you're at in the process, where you're able to plug it in. But then try to understand it and how does it work in its own context? How does it work with what happened before and after? That matters. Cool. How could it work if you changed it and tried to make it your own? All these things, this whole process of understanding these melodic concepts will then seep into your playing as you improvise. And don't try to force it.
Right.
You know, let it happen.
Right.
Oh, God.
Well, what do you know about this here?
Mr. Turtle, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Bam.
You never made it without biting. Ask Mr. Owl.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take?
You described it well. Should we link to that as well?
Yeah, Andrew linked to that too for some reason.
Yeah,
Is Saturday morning WWF wrestling going to follow that? Because I really appreciate that.
We're going to do an episode of that.
Excellent.
Okay, so yeah, thank you for the question. SpeakPipe. How can people leave a SpeakPipe?
Then go to you'llhearit.com and they can become a premium member.
Premium member. We got a lot of premium members. We're so excited. And our first, I don't know if you knew this. I think you do know this because we talked about it, but you might have forgotten. Our first At the Piano video exclusive for premium members is up. And folks have seen it. I think it's kind of cool. Do you remember it's the piano? We call it the Piano-y Runs.
No, I block everything out.
Oh, yeah. It's cool. We even have a little transcription, a little PDF download for members. So if you're interested in really, I mean, picking up a little bit of more content, but also just supporting the podcast here, kind of keeping things rolling. We've got this At the Piano episode. I think we got the overhead view even of the piano. We got the download.
And more of those
going
to
next
come.
level.
Yeah, more of those to come. You got the archive. You got the private Facebook group. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. And then on Friday, and we're going to have definitely some special things on Friday for the premium members for sure. But for everybody, this coming Friday, which would be August the 9th, actually, that's going to be like, what, tomorrow or something, right? Is today Thursday?
2 days. I think today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday? Today's Thursday? Today's Thursday.
Today's Thursday.
Come on, man.
Sorry,
hump day. You got to remember that, man.
It's not hump day, man.
Okay.
It's not hump day.
It's between Wednesday and Friday. That's called hump day. Anyway, tomorrow, tune in at 2 o'clock. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Andrew, Mr. Producer, but 2 o'clock Central Standard Time.
CDT.
CDT, CST, CDT. We don't know which one it is. But it's 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock New York time. All right, we'll give it up for that.
New York time even.
New
It's not
York.
even, he doesn't even use
New
EST.
York, East Coast time. And we're going to be streaming a bunch of live episodes, well, like 3 or 4 or something. And we're going to be doing some we're going to let people see our genius, brilliant, comical banter, which we do so naturally in between episodes.
How many times do I got to tell you? Undersell, over deliver, not the other way around.
Our boring banter in between where we just stare at each other and eat almonds and drink La Croix. But please join us on YouTube on the Open Studio link below for the Open Studio YouTube channel. And we're going to be streaming live, having some fun.
Hell yeah.
Little Friday. It's going to be like a little early happy hour.
Might be some Old Forester.
We might pull a little Old Forester. Big shout out to the Old Forester company. Keep on distilling. And until then,
You'll hear it.